reliable company that provides series of services ranging from horizontal and vertical construction, procurement and supply chain management, logistics, sanitation, stationery supply, geotechnical surveys, property management, and real estate. The Liberia Renaissance Group, LRG, is located on 9th Street in the Bakers compound opposite Shatan Bar. For more information, call 086 535 025 or 0777 020. The best services. Liberia Renaissance Group Security Guard Service is a Liberian-owned security guard service that provides series of services ranging from VIP protection, VIP escort,
Well, hello, folks. I think we have some issues, and they're trying to fix it at the end in the studio there. So we'll be right back. Just hold on.
Services and a yard with swimming pool to host events. Bokon General Group of Companies is located on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603 or better still 0886-622-559 or email us at Bokon Group of Companies at gmail.com. Bokon Group of Companies.
With a hard question at Liberia Renaissance Group Security Guard Service is a Liberian-owned security guard service that provides series of services ranging from VIP protection, VIP escort, event security protection, access protection, security management, surveillance officer, security analysis, internal and external security consultant, private security guard, personal security, and many, many more. At LRGSGS, we believe in trust, honesty, and integrity. We are located on 9th Street Cinco in the Bakers compound, opposite Shatan Bar. For more information, you can call 086 535 025 or 0776 812 000.
Hallelujah. Celebrate Jesus with me tonight. Hallelujah. All right, so this song is my testimony. Amen. Can I share it with you tonight? All right, let's go. I am who I am because of you. If it had not been for you, tell me where would I be? I was lost and sinking deep in sin.
This is how we would like to welcome you to our inspirational segment. This is a segment we use to inspire you.
There's no one else but you. I am who I am because
We use this segment to tell you the important, to make you to know the important of serving God, of praising God. Because with God, all things are possible.
No one else can do the things you do.
So you hear the song? No one else can do the thing he do.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Oh, Lord, yeah. Oh, Lord. No one else but you. Oh, Lord, yeah. You trouble, Lord, yeah. Oh, Lord. No one else but you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Luigi Michael. Give up your life for me, yeah. You even go on and call me your very own. So grateful for your love, your mercy and grace. No one can do the things you do for me. Yeah. No one else but you. Never thought that you could love someone like me. Give up your life for me, yeah. You even go on and call me your very own. So grateful for your love, your mercy and grace. No one can do the things you do for me. Oh, no one else but you. Say, Lord, yeah. Oh, Lord, yeah. No one else but you.
Wheresoever you are right now, I want you to dance to the music, dance to the song. Praise Jesus. Whatsoever you are right now, praise Him. Because He said when praises goes up, blessing is automatically bound to come down. Praise Him right now. Send praises up and wait for your blessing down. That's the only thing we get to give Him. Praises. Only praises we get to give Him. You can even be right beside your market table and serve God. You can be in your shop. You can be behind your office desk. And thanks to this song, God can bless anybody from anywhere. You don't have to be in the church to praise God. You can be anywhere to praise God. Do it right now. Try and see. Test it. Put my voice to test. You can testify the goodness of God.
Business squad come, must be burning. Above every other name, we say, you alone deserve the praise. You are the miracle working God. All power belongs to you. We say, you alone deserve.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just hold on. We'll be right back. I think that's a glitch in the internet or something's wrong. So Oli is trying to fix it in studio. We'll be right back.
alone deserve all the praise.
And above every other name, come on, declare it, say, you alone deserve the praise. You're the miracle working God, and all the power belongs to you.
So you can follow the ATC platform on Facebook. Just search for All Things Considered. ATC, you see right now. You see Mr. Kalon on the live podcast. Even if it's somehow busy, at your leisure time, when you get home, just search for the ATC platform and still watch the program. Mr. Kalon, are you there?
Yes, Oli, how are you? Hello, Liberia. Hello, Liberians in Liberia and in diaspora. Once more, we're here again to discuss or to continue the discussion about sexual and reproductive health and a lot more around pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, as well as abortion and all of that. So, yeah, Oli, I'm here and I'm grateful being here once more.
Okay. How was the weekend? Anyway, happy new month.
Thank God, we just celebrated the Happy Labor Day in America. But everything is okay by God's grace. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, like Mr. Kalon Regler stated, sometime last week, Tuesday, we started a topic, we started a conversation in regards to teenage pregnancy, wherein we tried laying few bases. We went through the topic, but due to the time factors, we couldn't, complete some of those points that were laid out, or some of those points that were outlined by us. We couldn't complete them due to time factors because, like I said previously, most often when we bring the topic for discussion, we lay the basis, we say what we know. After then, we send it out to you because this platform is an independent platform. We believe and respect people's views. Yes, we don't know it all, and we're not pretend that we know it all. So sometimes we say what we know, and after then, it is about Liberia. It is about we Liberians. So it is good that we are here again today. It is good that we are here again today to run into it again. So Mr. Brian just joined. Good afternoon, Mr. Brian. Welcome. I want to. You're muted. You mute.
In the early 2000s,
Hey, Penny, I wanted your wheelbarrow.
Your background, you got something playing.
Welcome, Dinano. How are you? Mr. Brian, how are you?
Mr. Brian, can you lower your monitor a bit? You can just lower, if you're listening to us, you can just lower the radio a bit. Yeah, you can just lower the radio a bit. We are getting some terrible feedback. Okay, that's good. So you can come out anyway. Yeah, so like I was saying, Mr. Kalon, this going Tuesday because Thursday we have some technical issue at the radio station. I think we have some issues here that they were resolving, so we couldn't appear on the show. So we couldn't complete our topic we started. So we thought it wise to send it to this Tuesday because sometimes we'll make commitment to our listening audience and they hold us by some of those commitments we made to them. So it is prudent upon us today to continue from where we stopped because fair friendly. The topic is very interesting. Even after we discussed the other day, couple of young colleagues try reaching in my inbox, like they want to listen to the topic again. They want to follow. We should continue the topic because it is of human interest. Couple of people, don't know some of those things, and we discuss. Couple of people are lacking those ideas. Couple of people don't know couple of those things, and people are not willing to educate people. And our whole country now is engulfed into politicking. Everybody now after politics. Everybody now after politician, and leaving those hardcore things we need to talk about. So when we brought up the topic the other day, a couple of people were interesting. Even when the show was going on, a couple of my colleagues started texting me, "Oh, I'm following." It is one of the show of recent I see a couple of my colleagues, and try texting me, "I'm following." We join the topic. So to tell you how important and significant this topic is. So we had 20 points. We started from 1 to 10 the other day. So today we are going to begin from 11 to 20. Is it so? Am I right, Mr. Callum? Are you there? Are you there, Mr. Callum? Mr. Brian, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So we proceed now. Just a point of correction, we'll be continuing the topic on sexual hello?
Yes, go ahead.
You hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about responsible sexual behavior, and we'll be talking also about teenage pregnancy and how parents can play integral role in helping kids, the young ones, to take precautionary measure, against STDs and sexual transmitted diseases and all of that. So so we're here to talk about this. I think it's important. And we started the topic last time. And just to give you a little, tips or tips about the last discussion, we talked about in West Africa, significantly Liberia. We have several important factors to consider when addressing teenage pregnancy and promoting sexual and reproductive health. The first point we talked about was comprehensive sex education program must be implemented to provide accurate information about contraception, sexually transmitted infections, and the list goes on. And the importance of consent. Sometimes people don't give consent for sex, and sometimes people are forcibly, penetrated or raped or something. So additionally, access to affordable and quality reproductive health care services, including contraception and safe abortion, should be prioritized. It is crucial to address cultural and societal norms that contribute to early marriage and gender inequality, as these factors often increase the risks of teenage pregnancy. Lastly, we talk about engaging with community leaders, parents, and religious institutions to create a supportive environment for open discussions about sexual and reproductive health, which of course is essential. So those are the key points we talked about the last session, and we continuing. It's a continuity of what we talked last time. So I'm ready to jump on it.
Okay, so Mr. Brian, after you, do you have any addition? Then we'll proceed.
Well, I think it's perfect that we're back here today. And like you say, initially we extend our apology to our many listeners. We couldn't come back on the air due to some technical and unplanned reasons. But thank God we're back. And we're back to provide you where we stopped from. Like Kalan already outlined those key points. I think that those are areas we can pick up from. And I think we're on course with that. Yeah. But just to get a recap, Ali, just to like our.
Wow. We lost Mr. Brian. We lost Mr. Brian. You know, technology wise, we are facing some difficulty. So, Mr. Cadon, we can proceed, and from where we
Okay,
stop.
so the last time we had a list of 20 points we wanted to
Mm,
talk about, and we talk about the first 10 points. So I will appreciate if you can read from point 11 to
mhm.
20. Then we can talk about it.
Okay, I should just go through it as once, or we can go by it bit by bit,
Yeah, bit by
whatever.
bit, one at a time, and we'll talk a little bit. And yeah,
Okay, so point 11, addressing social economic factors. Addressing social economic factors as regards to teenage pregnancy. So the pros: reduces vulnerability, empower teenage mothers. Cons: complex issue, require systemic change or changes.
yeah. So as you rightly said, the social economic factors there. We should really focus on how we can empower teenage mothers, like mothers who are in their teenage, uh, giving birth, like girls, teenagers giving birth in their teenage, range like that, where they in maybe from 13 to let's say 19. Uh, we should be able to empower them with the right information, uh, so that this social economic factor, these factors around teenage pregnancy and how to make them, guide themselves against maybe harm to the babies, the unborn babies, and how not to get impregnated so early, the
Mhm,
weight. So there are other things to tell them how to use, contraceptives and other preventionary measures to not be impregnated. So
mhm,
the cons here is complex issue, requires systemic changes. So
mhm,
it's all about how the government, our community, our religious leaders, other mothers who are more experienced can be able to give the right information to their kids, on how to engage when it comes to sexual education. Not just the female, but also the male children, teach them how what not to do and what to do. So yeah,
mhm,
so going to point 12, school-based health services. So the pros there is convenient access to healthcare, promote regular checkups. And the
mhm,
cons there is limited resources, potential for stigmatization.
mhm,
So yeah, as what Riley is saying concerning the education, we need to engage the schools, high school, colleges, universities. I know it will be resourceful, like you need resources to engage health practitioners and healthcare providers. Have a couple of programs in school to at least uh, share some health, education and give some health services. Like we lastly talked in the previous section that a couple of us in schools, in grade schools, had a department there for first aid.
mhm,
Healthcare provider was assigned to my school in Beta Harris, where if someone feels sick before they're taken to a major hospital, you have like a nurse practitioner at the institution just for emergency. So these things, should be prioritized. Um, when it comes to the cons, we have limited resources, as I said earlier, and because of that, we might have stigmatization as a problem. Where girls get pregnant so young, and people look at them like, oh, why they didn't wait enough, or maybe they came down with some STDs that became something hazardous to their personality, and they feel ashamed of it, and people discuss them inappropriately, discrimination and all of that. So these are things that we talk about in point 12. So you can proceed to point 13. Yeah.
Sure, like you rightly put it, Mr. Callum, when it comes to the issue of the stigmatization, because basically, basically, stigmatization is an issue here, and these are things, these are things people are faced with sometimes when you're pregnant in your young age. You see people stigmatizing you, people laughing at you, people feel that you are not fit at certain places, and you feel provoked, and so these are things too we need to look at, because sometimes you even go to hospital, you don't have money, and no resources. People try to lash at you on what basis you got pregnant, and who your better father. In our local term, people try to say all those things, and all those things, and come with stigmatization. People try to stigmatize you. At the end of the day, some people who can really bear some of those things, they try to do something to themselves, especially for some of those who don't have, strong resistance, who don't have strong in our local term, who don't have strong faith or strong mind. They fall prey to certain things. So these are things too we need to address, and So the next one, like we said, point 13, we have to do with media literacy, right? Media literacy, which has to do with the pros, equips teenagers with critical thinking skills, help navigate media messages, cons, limited impact, may not reach all teenagers. So you want to come in for Mr. Carlo?
Mr. Brian can comment on that one.
Mr. Brian, you following? Or I should go over it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why my internet keep flipping. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, so
So
I just can you just go back over what you just read?
yeah, so point 13, which talk about media literacy, right? The pros equips teenagers with critical thinking skills, help navigate media messages. Then the cons is limited impact, may not reach all teenagers.
I think the point there is actually talking about the issue of the level of education, the kinds of messages are disseminated to adolescent. And when we're talking about adolescent are people from the age of I think, if I'm not mistaken, from Ministry of Health or the World Global say, I think from 9 to 17 should be adolescent. People that are within that range, meaning the kinds of messages that we disseminate to the adolescent, information concerning sexual reproductive health education, how well we disseminate in measure effectively. Then the coins talk about if those information are not properly disseminated, what happens? Now, for example, in our searching today, you realize that many of the messages, we talked about it last Tuesday, many of the messages that have been disseminated, more especially on social media, you see that those are wrong messages. And I mean, wrong messages sometimes in the sense that those are the only one people follow up with. And people are learning about personal thing to do on, like we talk about. Let me just make it, I think we got to be careful who listening anyway, because the last podcast we had, Facebook were able to observe the comments we made, and later on then they released the video. If you notice, that video a little bit went through, and after they release it, you see we have over almost 17,000 viewers, and I speak to you on it. So, and that was good anyway. So, like we say, we all know disclaimer to what we're saying. What we're trying to do over Facebook to understand is that we're providing level of health education for young people. How can we be able to be a great help to society, that people can be aware of their own health values, and that how they can be strong and productive in society. So today we're talking about adolescent, the kind of education that's provided for adolescent, because the puberty period for teenager is the adolescent period. I mean, that is the most important part. So what kind of messages are these messages going out to them? What is it they're learning? Are we giving them the right information? Are we giving them the right health information? What are, like, many of the television these days, you find out that they have what they call Kiss China, right? They will tell you that this is restricted. Even some of the movies tell you that a child below 18 cannot watch this movie. cannot watch this movie. But now in our certain, I sorry to say, even that rating is coming up, but people still sit with their children and they watch the movie. Like Kalon said the last time, I said, close your eye. What kind of message? Yeah, what kind of message are you disseminating to the children? Because if they get the wrong message or messages, it has serious trickle down effect on them because they are in the adolescent period. So, and that is very significant on that we have to get in the right messages and provide the right environment for them that they themselves can understand and know exactly what to listen to, what they can be. Because what they listen to, every human being, why you listen to mostly serious impact on you. It also influence your decision making. Like the same thing people say, the kind of people you walk with, if you spend 80% of your time with, has serious influence over you. I don't care how strong you are, because those are the people you walk with every other day. Those are the people you believe in. So the same as the adolescent. Yeah, so I think it's very important in that point, the messages issue. We should tailor the best message for them. We should want to provide the right communication for them. And then like now, the world is so challenged. Technology is all over. That is one of the disadvantages of technology is you cannot control what comes on Facebook for your child to listen. Because everyone in the children right now, they get a cell phone. They get locked on the internet. They see all kind of crazy videos. All kind of crazy videos. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good things on Facebook you can go and learn from. A lot of good things. You got innovators on Facebook. You got people like Abraham P. Kalon out there doing a lot of great work on the internet. You can go and search about him. You see his work he's doing. A child in that range be able to learn from a Liberian coming from Liberia, settled in America, like Abraham Kalon, setting a great example, who is now an innovator, a man who making great history. So how many of our kids have the opportunity to go on Facebook to read? How many of them? They don't read. They don't want to follow videos. And that kind of, and they're crazy, trust me, they're troubling videos.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for the compliments. But I just want to buttress, you made some salient points, like media literacy, the pros that they equip teenagers, they would think critically when they have the right information, as you said, because if the young minds don't have the right information at the right time, if they're fed with a lot of toxic stuff through the media, maybe watching videos or maybe listening to some songs or some audio that is negatively impacting them, it's going to change the way they react. It's going to manipulate them and control them to doing things that they shouldn't be doing at that age, in their teen age. So I mean, and most of the time too, if we have limited impact by sharing these positive messages through media, whether it be a social media or print media, electronic media, like radio station, television stations, if we don't have the massive reach to all the teenagers, that could be one of the cons. If the right message not reaching to everyone, like if the education ministry and the health ministry, as you said the last time, Delano, if they could collaborate and bring out the right kind of information to the young minds, it will be helpful for the mitigation of risks for teenage pregnancy, and also to prevent sexually transmitted diseases. So that's a powerful point. Moving forward, Oli, you can go to 13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like you already stated, sometime in this, most often I talk about Liberia, we play with information dissemination because we don't actually value it at certain level, especially certain information that need to be disseminated. We don't actually value it. Like I said in my intro, majority of us we just run beyond politics. And after politics, we're forgetting to know that we got kids home that need to hear those good things about themselves. We got family home that need to hear about family value. Because after politics, the street life, you'll go home. And who are those people you're going to meet home? Your kids. You're not going to discuss politics with your kids every time. Your kids got to know about themselves. They gotta know about their homes. They gotta feel some level of parental care. Because, like Mr. Brian said the other day, if you don't give it to them, if you don't give them that good messages, they will get it from out there. And they'll start being loyal to that person who can give them messages they want to hear. At the end of the day, they move on the wrong path. At the end of the day, they move on the wrong path. So with all of those things we are discussing, information dissemination is very key. It's very key. How we disseminate those information out there? Who are those targeted people? Who are those people in those range who share those information to about taking pregnancy, about people taking care of themselves? How to understand certain part of your body as a male or a female. So anyway, we got other points to hit. So I will come to point 14. We talk about support groups for teenage parents. Pros, provides emotional support, share experiences. Cons, limited availability, potential for dependency. Limited availability, potential for dependency.
Yeah, I can jump on that one. Then Mr. Brian can come on after. Um, so I mean, we as a country, we need to establish more groups. Like some female groups to help the young kids or the teenagers who are come down with STDs or teenage pregnancy. If we have our mothers, our bigger sisters, can establish some female groups, even like boys, the kids, the male kids. You have some brothers and some fathers who will establish some groups where they could be a part of for mentorship, encourage them through giving them tapes about healthcare and how to carry on their life, when it comes to sexual relationships. And those are things we need to really prioritize so that the parents, parents who are teenagers will have, the kind of support in these groups, emotional support, psychological support, because it can be depressing, frustrating sometimes when the child feels like she's not going to go to school because she's impregnated by somebody who can take responsibility of the baby. Maybe another teenager impregnated her, or maybe a older person who is not financially potent impregnated a teenager. So it leaves her to be dependent on her mother and her father still. You get what I'm saying? So those are the cons in the whole scenario if we don't have these groups to give the right information to our youth. These could be consequences where these teenagers who get impregnated will be dependent on out of the system, because in Liberia we don't have government support to these occurrences, to these events. I don't think government is allotting any kind of resources in system structure to teenagers who can afford taking care of the babies. So I think it should be the healthcare, purview to really look at how they could be supportive uh, to Liberian youth, especially the girls, who coming down with STDs in their youthful age, like teen age, who's coming down with being impregnated, who don't have the right support, and they depend on either the mother and the father. And sometimes the mother and the father don't have enough to sustain the child. Is government thinking about allocating or subsidizing these kind of occurrences? I think the healthcare system should look at that. That's my own point on that. Mr. Delano, Brian, can you say something on it?
Well, I think that you said it all for me. I think you said it all. Maybe we could go to the next one. For me, I
Okay.
think for me.
Okay,
Oli.
so yes, so we can hit 15. We talk about gender equality. Gender equality pros. Empower teenage girls. Challenges gender's norm. Challenges gender's norms. Cons. Resistance from resistance from patriarchal society. Resistance from patriarchal society. Slow progress. So again, 15, talking about gender equality, empowers teenage girls, challenges gender norms, comes resistance from patriarchal society, slow
Patriarchal.
progress. Patriarchal society, slow progress. Yeah, so that's point 15. So
What do you think of it, Mr. Bryant?
Yeah, the issue of equity comes with the level of there are two different between equity and equality. Equity is if you give them their full ability to youth, wherein that they can have social basis services, which of course is the right for them to have that level, which of course they mentioned about that equity, mean that sufficiently they should be okay. It is a right that we respect gender, regardless of the gender, whether male or female. That gender equity should be something that should be paramount. At that point, they should be able to adhere to what, regardless of their sex or sexes, regardless of their sex, we should know that they should have equal basic information as a male or female. That is what it's saying there. I'm trying to understand the cons. Maybe Kalon will come over to that and what is it, but I know that it will have a serious effect when like we said in one of our topics that at some point we believe that the girls children in the womb, and we give them limited information when it comes to their own health. We give them limited access to certain things. We say other thing woman can do it, the other thing a woman cannot do it. We deny them, and they grow with that ideology. There are certain things women cannot do, and there are certain things women can do. At that point, there's some point of discrimination at the early stage, and you deny them equity. I mean, they believe they have the preconceived mind that I was taught from my embryo age that something I cannot do. So that affect them. So that could be the cons of that as well. If they're not sufficiently equipped, they're not sufficiently or provided those or necessary information or basic information that can help them grow, make them to understand that yes, society, they all fit in any society, and by what means they can give back to society. So if those things are lacking, those are serious cons to that. It greatly affect them. It makes them believe that they have a preconceived mind that this is not my area. This is not something I can do. I know. I don't think I can do this as a woman or as a boy. I don't think this is something I can do. And this psychologically also affect people. It affect people. It affect people. This also affect people. This also affect people too as well from their own academic strength. Because at some point you realize that we're in engineering school, you had to find women going to sciences. They believe that at some point the science area not for women. They believe that the science area shouldn't be for women. And it will interest you to know that women who would take advantage of those areas, they're quick to get successful than even male in the sciences. And I have seen that most of my colleagues that we studied engineering together, like for example, even the Minister of Public Works, we studied together. She did civil engineering, today she's a minister. Even the director of zoning of public work, we sat in class. We had only two ladies sitting in our class with us studying engineering, and today they are all drinking well. So you see, so those kind of messages that resonate to these people has serious effect on them as well.
Yeah. Just to buttress what you just said, I mean, I'm in concordance with you. The gender equality, the pros there empowering teenage girls. Like we talked about this previously, where a government can institute and mandate, like high school students to acquire additional skill apart from academics, like trade. If we have the girls in these high schools learning home economics and some other daily needed trade that they could provide the community with, that they could get residual income from what they do, or get some levy from what they do as being creative, as being innovative, from the skills they've learned, they could be self-empowered. So if situation arises where maybe made the wrong choice and they got impregnated, at least they have something going that they can do with their hand to sustain themselves. Another thing, gender equality there in our society, especially across Africa. We have a system that is patriarchal, society where men are dominant over women, and I think it's unfair and it slows the economy down. So if the government and every Liberian can embrace gender equality, make everybody feel like you belong here, you can contribute, you can be empowered, you can learn something, you can change the economy, you can change your society, your community. It doesn't matter whether you're a male or you're female. We all have that equality, that equal right to thrive. If the system can encourage women empowerment, girls empowerment, I think there will be a buttress effect of growth. Like most families in Africa, especially Liberia, are dependent on the male to provide, for the home. But if the woman is empowered with the right skills, or maybe she have the ability to go to university to acquire degrees, she could be well to do, as we can say, and she can be able to contribute towards household. So it's not all about just the man, or the burden on the man, or the responsibility on the man. So men should really reconsider how to empower their women and the girl children, so that it can be self-sufficient. So that's one of the thing there. So if Oli has anything, then we can move forward. If not,
Yeah, basically you are hit it right there. So we can now move to point 16, which is addressing cultural and religious belief. Addressing cultural and religious belief. Pros. Promotes inclusive. No, I think. Okay, good. I got it. Promotes inclusivity. Oh, I'm trying to figure out a word. I can one minute. Okay, good. Promote inclusivity. Respect diversity. Promote inclusivity. Respect diversity. Cons. Potential for clashes requires sensitivity. Potential for clashes requires sensitivity.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Mr. Brian.
that is very simple. Say promote inclusivity, mean that people bring everybody together, regardless of your background, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your gender. Bring everybody together. That's one. You have to promote that, and also talk about diversity. Diversity that has to do also with looking at the religiously, whether it be a Christian, be a Muslim, be a pagan, whatever you are, whatever the person, whatever background this person comes from, you have to promote that. And that is something we talk about on Tuesday as well. Last Tuesday, we talk about the global village today. People in the world, there are some people chose to go anywhere they feel they're going. That's their right. You cannot ostracize them from the society because I chose to change myself from being black to white, or I chose to change myself from being a man to be called a woman. You cannot exclude me, regardless of my own background, regardless of how I take myself. What you need from me is you got to need me in society to contribute towards society. So that's why they're talking about bring you inclusiveness. It does matter. Diversify or diversification also matters, because you should respect people who they are, not what they're coming from or not how they look. That's what matters a lot. And if you don't do that, it greatly affects society. And sorry, so let me just sway a little bit from this topic just for 1 minute. This point we just raised, it is something that now looking at our political terrain right now in Liberia, we're going through election. People are feeling so entitled. Some are feeling so entitled That if you don't support certain candidate, they look down on you. And some people are attacking other people. And because they feel that when you're supporting a candidate X, they mean that, oh, you're not correct. It means that you're not sound. It means that if you don't want to support that candidate, it means that, well, they antagonize you. That's a serious problem. You're not promoting inclusiveness, because democracy is by the people, for the people, and with the people. And everyone needs to have their own right, their own choice to decide whosoever they want to take. Now, so you diversify, you try to restrain people for that diversification. What happened? It brings tension. It brings tension. And at the end of the day, after elections, what happened? It brings hatred. It affects the country greatly. So what we're saying, just to come back to our topic, if we don't promote inclusiveness, we don't encourage diversify or whatsoever diversification, what happens? What happened to them? It affects society at large.
Yeah, promoting inclusivity, respect diversity. I like the point you said. You see, I always say something that like diversity is strength. It's not a threat. And if we all include everyone, we become one together, despite of your religious background, your academic background, your cultural traditional background, which tribe you are, which country you're from. If we just forget about that in the picture and just look at us all as human race, as Liberians, all right? Despite which political party you're a part of or affiliating with, we're all one people. You know, we have to accept diversity so that we can be able to tolerate each other. Everyone don't know what you know. You don't know what everyone else know. So if we all come together, you know, and brainstorm and work things out, it's to the betterment of the country as a whole. So I think for us to really include, you know, ourselves within each other, it plays an integral role for growth. Because if, to say, maybe I'm a part of a political party and I won the elections, and then I started discriminate those who didn't vote for me, but election time is over. So if we have the result, everyone should say, okay, this election was free and fair. This person is the president. Let us all support this agenda for Liberia's growth. It's not about you being another party and you still want to be undermining the existing ruling or leading party. It's going to bring a lot of constraints to the economy, to our growth as a people. So if we just really disregard this division stuff, like, because I'm not a part of you, so you my enemy. You know, we need to desist from that. You know, when it comes to teenage pregnancy, when it comes to teenage health and STDs like healthcare and education, I think we should be holistic with the approach of our engagement. How we engage people is not all about just engaging the females alone to educate them about, you know, sexual education, about the risks about teenage pregnancy. We should also educate the male kids, the male children, the youth. So we should make it open. Even the mothers and the fathers need the education too, because not every mother, not every father got the right information to share with their kids so that our health can be better off than what it is. So it's just my butchers. So Oli, if you have anything, if not, then you can proceed.
Yes, so like Mr. Brian said, is one of the easier point that even by the reading, anybody could understand basically when they talk about addressing cultural and what religious belief when it would talk about promote and, you know, inclusivity. So basically, right, we all got to respect, like you all put it from the political standpoint and all the points. We all got to respect each other diversity, be it our religious belief, because at certain level, you see some people try to like despise people based on the religious belief. Like for typical example, some people will say our culture or our belief from our own tribe side, we don't eat sorry. Some people say from our own tribe side, we don't eat hard right. There are some people who don't believe or who don't respect people at that level. It's about who you think you are, what you want to
Yep. Tolerance is everything.
prove. And you know, when you look at the other side, it talk about talk about potential for clashes. Once you don't respect people belief at a certain level, when you all try to go at local head at the end of the day, and you know, you all try to fight, chaos come in the making, and you know, there, and you know, unforeseen things start coming about now, just because I don't respect Mr. I don't believe, I don't respect his culture, I don't respect what his people believe in. So at the end of the day, everybody want to prove point, catches come in, we try to destroy each other. So it is good that we respect each other belief. It's good that we respect each other culture based on where we come from or based on what we are involved into. It is good that we respect it. Let diversity and you know take place in our daily life and in our daily activities. Let us respect each other. So, point 17, prevention of child marriage. Prevention of child marriage. The pros: protect teenage girls' rights. Protects teenage girls' rights. Reduces rates of early pregnancies. Reducing rates of early pregnancies. Cons: deep-rooted tradition. Deep-rooted tradition. Resistant to change. Deep-rooted tradition resistant to change. That point.
Yeah. That's the major problem in our society, more especially in Africa. And that one of the reasons why Africa continues to produce a lot of teen pregnancy, because we practice a lot of traditional belief. You know, at some point, we believe that those things we're doing are right. And don't get me wrong, but we all understand that the word that everyone has the right. A girl has the right to make her own decision at some point. That's why we say the age 18. At that point, that person can make their own decision. Anything below 18 that is not right. You realize that people think that because of traditional sex, somebody would marry somebody and pay somebody to die at the age of 7 years old. I said, there's my own woman, and I keeping a woman by 7 years old. And that child will grow 7 by 15 years to move the child to a husband. Sometimes the husband even 45, 7-year-old or 40-year-old married to a 45-year-old man. That child has no life. That person has no life. That right of that person is abused. And what happens? The next thing is that he or she grew up in an environment where he had been abused. The right have been abused. Doesn't know anything about education. They don't even know how to take care of themselves, even how to take care of their own family, or just move in the house and just cook and born children for somebody. And those traditionally you find those things happening. And the culture why we believe that those practices been in existence over 200 years in Africa. Because the longer you have stayed, we believe that those things are right. And it continues to affect our surrounding. A couple of days ago, just over the weekend, I was just out of my roof and I saw that happening. I saw children, girls at the age of 14 years. We have some little interview. They are all pregnant. They are all married. Some of them were men with 4 wives. 4.
And just to buttress you, Mr. Brian Delano,
Yeah.
in our law, it's statutory rape. If the female child is not at the age of 18, and even if they give you consent, you know, according to our law, it's statutory rape, right? But I mean, the tradition where, you know, the country will bury that because of tradition's sake. Maybe the traditional people would say, oh, our tradition, our culture. But I think it's time for us to change, because in life, the only thing that remains constant is change. And as we evolve as a world, as a global community, we want everyone to experience their own rights accordingly. Because if the female child gets impregnated at teen age, they're not grown enough, experienced enough to take care of themselves yet. Then they have to be focusing on taking care of a new baby born in the world that they don't have the capacity to even manage well or maintain, or they have not gathered the right expertise or experience over time to understand how to take care of a child. and you see them would not have the opportunity to go to school anymore because they have to focus on taking care of a young baby or young babies. They'll have to learn at the early age to be a woman before their time, and they don't have the right kind of education, availed to them, the right kind of health care availed to them. So these are basic human rights. So I think, our tradition too should look into that to see how they could, work on, transforming some of those, ancestral custom or traditional beliefs we have over time, that could help our economy as well and our country as a whole so that everyone can grow happy and in peace and have the right to live. So yeah, Oli, thank you. If you have another thing to say, if not, then we can proceed to the next point.
Yeah, let's proceed to the next point because we are actually running out of time. So
yeah.
Point 18 says youth leadership and participation. Youth leadership and participations. So we talk about the pros. We talk about empowers teenagers, promotes ownership of their health, empowers teenagers, promotes ownership of their health. Cons, limited opportunities, potential for burnout. Limited opportunities, potential for burnout.
I think that is clear. We can proceed because of time.
Yes, because of time. So point 19 says collaboration between stakeholders. Collaboration between stakeholders. Pros, maximizes resources, promotes coordinated efforts, maximizes resources, promotes coordinated efforts. Cons, potential conflicts of interest, requires effective communication.
Yeah, so for that one, I mean, the stakeholders we talk about, like the health ministry, the education ministry, those are the stakeholders to disseminate the right kind of information to our people, the information, culture, tourism ministry. So once they can, do due diligence, they need to do that with the right kind of resources to promote, the effective coordination through all the different counties, and if they don't do that, I mean, the potential conflict of interest would need effective communication, like we need to reduce the risks, for that conflict of interest, for our own health sector and our educational sector in the country as well. So point 20 says continuous research and evaluation. Evaluation, yeah. We need to evaluate. So the pros there is inform, evidence-based interventions and identifies gaps. Cons there is to require funding. So it requires funding, time-consuming process. So that's the con. So if anyone got anything to say on that, so we can give time to other people to talk and share their views.
I think for me that clearly explains itself. Yeah, I think so. We can just open the telephone lines and let people to participate. People can take their
and just before people start calling, for all those who don't know what cons is and what pros is, cons is the positive, or let's say the best fit, all right, positive, and the pros is the negative. The cons, sorry, the cons is the negative part of it, all right, and the pros is the positive. Yeah.
Okay, so folks, you got it right there. This is the ATC platform, Hard FM 107.9. This afternoon, we are here discussing the issue of teenage pregnancy. What are some of those issues involving? What are some of those things we need to know How can we address those issues? So our lines are open this afternoon for your participation on 0886 107 107 0770 107 107 0886 107 107 0770 107 107. So our lines are open this afternoon. You can call and tell us what you know about the topic on the discussion. Like I said previously, we say what we know and we leave it out there to you for your own contribution because we don't know it out. We actually don't know it all. So at certain level, we depend on you too for your own idea for the goodness and for the benefit of our listening audience. So it's good that you participate this afternoon. Tell us what you know about the topic on a discussion that few people can benefit from every one of us expert ideas. So our lines are open this afternoon to 0886 107 107 0770 107 107. So we got some people following us on our live podcast. We got Morrison Moore, which is following from Dubai this afternoon. We got Adia Rice say, thank you for speaking truth to power about female empowerment retrench. So if you are following via the internet, you can just drop your comment. We'll read it out for you. You can just drop your comment. We will read it out for you. So if you are listening to the radio locally, our lines are open to 0886 107 107 0770 107 107. So I think Mr. Carlo, Mr. Brian, from your end, anybody can just do an overview and about what we're discussing. Then
I think from my side, just so I think we almost like less than 2 minutes to go. I think from my side, our point of concentration is that our main topic was centered around how can we prevent early teen pregnancy, and then how can we be able to inform them about the reproductive system or the reproductive health. That's what the entire topic generated from. So we've been providing lots and lots of information wherein that our parent to children relationship, people need to know their rights as a child from adolescent stage to a teenage stage to a youth stage. They need to know their right. They need to be protected. We talk about parents serving as a mentor in many of the engagement. Don't have feelings about sex to your children. The children need to understand what is sex, what sex is all about, the pros and cons of sex, the good part of it and the bad part of it. How does sex help the body? How does sex affect their education? We've been talking about that. We talk about that government, public sector engagement. How can they work together in the point of collaboration, providing information dissemination? We talk about the issue of participation in seminar. We talk about disseminating the right kind of information or messages to our adolescents or to youth, the kind of message they need to understand. If we don't get the right message to them, what happens, how it affects them, we talk about that. And that more, I think Carlon can also add on some of the things we talk about.
I mean, our traditional and cultural leaders, how they could play an integral role too for this change we all need. The religious sector or a religious leader, whether it be a Muslim, imams and pastors in churches, bishops, deacons, how we could be able to, share common value of these information to parents, through counseling and to children who are in the teen age, teenagers, youth. Our population is youthful the most. So how we could also be able to incorporate everyone, in this journey for growth for the country at large. We should stop discrimination. We should stop. We should just make the country a country of inclusion, where we can all accept each other in differences and work together as a family, giving the right information to people that need the information, and how we could support, create, groups, youth groups, and encourage gender equality, to be able to empower women and females in the country, how we could impact the country for change when it comes to giving the right skills to the girls, and the boys, the youthful population, how to give them the right skills so that it could be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, and how they could be able to stay away from teenage pregnancy, uh, and how not to engage, with uh, negative information, but to encourage positive information. So that's my own buttress to the conclusion of this topic.
So, folks, you got it right there. We are actually out of time. Time I catch up. Also, let's say 30 seconds. We can just do our party comment and we'll call it a day.
Well, guys, thank you so much thank you very kindly to our many listeners. Also, thank to Kalon and you, Oli, for being very proactive in this conversation. May God bless all of us.
Amen. Thank you, Liberia, for listening. Thank you, the world, for listening. And we pray that you share the ATC platform, because we come with a lot of, ideology and tapes and wave power for growth, economic growth, different industry, growth and personal growth as well. So it's all about, innovation. It's about sensitivity. It's about creativity. So this platform is a platform not talking much about politics, even though we are all political animals, but we try not to engage too much politics, but to talk about societal ills and how we could mitigate risks so that our country can go forward and be more developed. So that's the whole thing about this platform. So welcome all the time. We're here Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we look forward to you joining on the social media and also on the radio station, Hot FM. So I leave it with Oli, and I love you all. And bye for now.
Folks, you got it right there. That was the voice of Mr. G. Delino Bryan and Mr. Abraham P. Kalon. So this is how we call it a day. There's a song we're leaving you with. Find a friend like the